What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Serious Angler podcast. Today we are previewing stop number 4 of the Bassmaster Elite Series on the Sabine River. As always, I am your host, Bailey Eichbrett, joined by Mr. Andy Full, the captain, and Mr. Adam Bartuzik. What's going on, boys?
Not much.
I think we need to highlight tonight as well as unfortunately Mr. Deacon cannot join us tonight. It's Derb weekend for Mr. Deacon, and unfortunately, he does not have good service at his Airbnb. So he is with us in thought, and hopefully we can get him to shoot us over his picks here for the fantasy fishing side, so we at least can get his picks in to kind of get his side for the whole fantasy fishing part of things. But we wanted to highlight and go and review Pickwick really fast before we obviously got into the Sabine River. But Bart, I know you got a big week coming up. This week, you might be traveling down to Smith Lake. You don't even know yet at this point if you're even headed down because they are going through some crazy, crazy weather. So at this point, dude, what are your thoughts leading up for next week?
I don't know. I just want to go fishing, so I don't really care. I know there's it's crazy. You sign up for the opens, and all of a sudden everyone calls you all the time with like what they're thinking and what's going on and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't know. There's guys like I look at it and like there's quite a few guys like already panicking, and I'm like, well, like I don't have to worry about you. That's kind of like I guess my advantage is I've been so busy working and like finishing up editing stuff, finishing up the one, like just so much stuff going on that like dead serious guys. I haven't even watched a video on Smith Lake yet. 100% haven't even done it. No research.
Not going to help you anyways at this point.
No, I've talked to a few guys about it a bit. I've done a little bit of research, but like really, I haven't even watched much. I mean, for me, like I'm more of an instincts guy. Like I'll look at a lake and just look at points and like, and I can do that the night before. Like I can sit down on the couch and have a beer and put down the depth areas I want to look at and drop like 15, 30 waypoints and be like, all right, I'm going to go run that tomorrow. I don't need to sit here for a week and think about that. And I'm kind of glad I'm not, because with all the storms going through there right now, the high water they're getting and everything, like there's so many guys who already had a game plan, I'm sure, that is just completely out the window. And I'm just sitting here like, I haven't even pulled my line off from last year yet. Like that's happening tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, I'll think about it and watch some videos on it tomorrow while I'm spooling up some rods, but I don't know. I'm not really that worried. Maybe it's not the right approach to have, but like, I just think like I'm going to show up, I'm going to swing for the fences. I'm going to do what I always do. So it might work, might not, whatever.
It's a learning experience, right? What a first open to go into too. All kinds of uncontrollable variables.
Yeah, I just don't want to hit a floating log. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But it'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. Like I've said, like I'm really not. Like I'm just not. I'm gonna go down there. I got an idea of kind of what I want to do and what I want to look at. I have an idea of probably what's gonna happen and probably what's gonna win. What could win and probably what a lot of guys are gonna go do, and I'm gonna kind of avoid that for a while. Just to see what goes on, because I mean, from what I've heard about Smith, like it can get really muddy, but for the most part, there's always clear water areas in it. So
that's interesting.
Just one big ditch is like basically what it is.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. I mean, I've seen that there's been guys there for the past few days, and I'm sure there's guys there that you haven't seen on social media that have been there for maybe the past month. And for the majority of all of them, it's probably a waste of time now with these conditions rolling in. I think it's probably an advantage for you rolling in with a fresh mindset. You haven't really thought about it because you could have been studying for the past couple of months, and everything you like researched and looked into is probably not even going to be in play with the conditions that are going to hit you next week. So could be an advantage for you if they even have the event. I know there's talks obviously of postponing it, but who knows what's going to happen. So
yeah, I just hope. I mean, because I know the access is probably underwater right now or close. I do know that lake fluctuates very quickly. I don't know how quickly it goes down, but
it goes up pretty quick.
it goes up fast. I don't know how fast it goes down, but I don't know. Like in the grand scheme of things, as long as we can launch a boat, I don't really care. I fish super flooded Mississippi River all the time. I mean, it's Smith Lake, so it's completely different, but like I don't really care. It's whatever. And for me, like this is exciting really for me to go down there. And I've really been looking forward to it, especially the last few days, because it's kind of hit me that this is my first time in literally a year that it's been like about me going fishing and going tournament fishing and going and chasing like, you know, dreams or the Elite Series or whatever, like, or even a local tournament. Like this is the first time it's me. Cause like the last year I've basically spent just filming and creating content and marketing and stuff for the past year. So like, I'm excited cause like I get to go back and I get to go compete. So it's nice that I kind of am going to get to tick that on and just go. Whereas, I mean, there's some guys who went to the first open and they've just stayed down there for like 2 months. And I've talked to some of them and they're like, yeah, I don't know, just been fishing and hanging out. I'm like, I drive to go practice. Like
you quit your job to go fish the opens and just hang out down south for 4 months at a time and hope it all works out. Like that's just terrifying.
Yeah, like I'm the opposite. Like I look at them like, hey, I got an open, I'll drive home. Everyone hates to drive home. I'm like, I already made it 5 times. It's whatever.
I love the traveling part of stuff. Maybe it's just because I'm young, but I love the traveling side of it.
It's whatever. Like if I can get home for a week, like that's worth it to me. I get like 4 or 5 days. I get to sleep in my bed and just like recoup on everything. And I don't know, some guys are good at doing that, like at an Airbnb or a hotel, but like I'm not. And in the grand scheme of it, like it cost me, you know, $200-$300 to drive home and back. Like it costs to stay at an Airbnb or a hotel or whatever, $500, $600, $700 plus food and everything just to stay there. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I can come home and work 1 or 2 days, pick up some extra money and then go back. So
yeah, dude. Well, I think we'll use that as a transition here to quickly talk about Pickwick. And obviously congratulations to Bill Owen. That was pretty awesome. I think everybody can agree that was really awesome to see him win. And you know, obviously a long time coming. It was like, his 14th season on the Elites, and he finally picked up a dub and smashed him on the last day, obviously, with that 8.5 pounder that, you know, they marked it as a 7 1/4. And I think everyone was like, yeah, that's way bigger than a 7 1/4. But obviously, so congratulations to Bill Owen. But was there anything, I mean, obviously, Adam, you were down there for practice. We saw you on Scott Martin's videos, and, you know, obviously it was a completely different practice from tournament day. It was a clean slate for everybody. Was there anything that surprised you guys about the event?
I was surprised they had it. But it just didn't get as bad as it was projected, to be honest. Like,
right.
I was down there until Thursday night, and then we found out it was going to get postponed till Saturday no matter what, and I boogied home. Because I had to get ready for the open. Like I couldn't stay until Tuesday. So it didn't even really make sense for me to just stay until Sunday. Cause at that time we were all saying we didn't even know if it was going to happen still. So, yeah, I just shot home, but I was surprised it actually happened more than anything. But like, I knew if they were going to go out there, it was just going to be a smash fest. Mm-hmm. And it kind of like, we didn't quite see the weights that we thought we were going to see, and that's because it was high and flooded, and they basically had to practice on the fly.
All that
like, gone. Dude, the reports in practice were insane. Like, I know multiple people who caught dirty 30s. Like, it was ridiculous.
Wasn't it Keith Holmes that had like 32 pounds and like a 10.5 in practice?
Yeah, like there were some ridiculous things going on there. It was like prime, dude. Water was like 56 to 58.
Oh man.
Like water was low. Like when that first storm came through on the first day, we were like, oh, this is sick. Like the water's gonna come up a little bit. They're all gonna crash the bank. This is gonna be freaking nuts. And then the tornadoes and everything like that weather came through, and dude, we got 8 inches in a day. 8. I've never seen anything like that. So that's why when it rose all of a sudden, and like that morning when we got canceled, it wasn't really that bad. So we were all like, wait, what? And we were like confused. And then like we all went and got breakfast and drove back to the house. And we were driving by the lake at like 11 or noon, and we were like, oh, okay, this is bad, like real bad. Like there were just full-fledged trees everywhere going down Pickwick. And like the wind was blowing about 30, 35 straight against the current. Like it was gnarly out there.
The stacking waves too. With
it would have been real bad. But no, it was a great event. Like I think it was great because you got to see so many guys doing different things, which is exactly what we said it was going to be. And then like you added in this factor of guys fishing instincts and fishing like these weird things, trying to figure it out. So like it was a sick event if you just like watching bass fishing. And I don't know if it's official, but I think they might have broke live records from what I heard from behind the scenes. And that's also because Monday and Tuesday were on work days. So everyone busy.
I think Mercer mentioned that on stage was that it broke records or something like that. But that's really cool to know. I had no idea. Hopefully that official number can come out and we can actually see that, hear about it. But either way, I'm not surprised. I don't think there's ever been a Championship Tuesday before.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's something they continue, but like I personally I guess I don't know the reason they always do like Sunday through Sunday or whatever. I don't get why we wouldn't do like a start on a Saturday and stuff and let when the fans come out on the weekend they get to see the full field and a full weigh-in and everything. Yeah. And then Monday and Tuesday, then your live numbers are way higher because everybody's at work and bored. So like I think it's great, and then it gives extra incentive for more people to come out to the weigh-in on Monday and Tuesday because people are winning then. But I don't know, it was cool to see, that was for sure.
Oh yeah, it adds a whole different element to it because no one's doing it, so it was pretty cool. But Andrew, any takeaways from Pickwick?
First one was how bad Justin Atkins did on his home water. He finished like 86th or 83rd or
88,
something.
I think. Yeah. Or 81st or 88th. I can't remember. But I know he was in a camera boat, I think, on the third day or the last day. They took him out, and he was like an analyst for him for a few hours. He's
like, oh, here's I practiced and caught him, but I thought it was going to go on over here.
You can see the pain in his face being out there. I felt bad. But, dude, sometimes that happens. Like, obviously, home bias can work out for you, and sometimes it can be kryptonite. So, just one of those things, you never know what's going to go on, and sometimes you think you know everything, so you play it off history and not really, like Adam talked about, fishing instinct. So, but yeah, I was surprised by that as well. It was interesting for me. It was kind of cool to watch that with how everyone was on a clean slate going into day one. You heard Tyler Rivette talk about it and chat with him a little bit off on social. And he was just like, dude, it was kind of fun because like everyone went out it was like showing up to a weekend local derb. Everyone's just going out fishing and didn't really practice for it because obviously you couldn't. Not much applied. You hear the guys talk how like the grass is pretty much gone. So it was one of those cool things, just kind of see guys adjust throughout the day. And it was weird to watch Hackney's bike kind of disappear after day one, where he had a decent bag and then they were gone. He was like because
the water was still rising or moving or whatever, so like they weren't set up yet. And then by the last day, it was going down. So like you just had to keep moving. There weren't spots that stayed good.
Right. Well, I think what was interesting was so like for Hackney's spot, he was obviously in some backwaters with that water falling or rising, right? So obviously it was super sensitive to that fluctuating water. But you saw like guys like, and Bill Lowen adjusted to it on the final day. You could see it, and Corey Johnson, the final day, crushed him off of one single dock. He hit a couple docks, but that one dock he caught like 10 fish off of. You could see they panned over, the camera angle would get their graph if they had it on with the GPS. The guys that did well up shallow were like right off the main channel. So obviously those were less likely to be affected by that rising or lowering water because they had enough water to stay up shallow. That was super interesting. That's probably why Hackney's shallow bite disappeared, because it was backwaters. It was way back in a creek and it wasn't off that main channel.
Yeah. I was surprised Pipkin's bite kind of went away because I know the area he was in and there was a lot of fish there.
Right. You don't think that was a pressure
there was a lot of fish there?
Do you think a pressure thing played at all? Because there was a bunch of guys that were fishing it.
Well,
There's always a lot of fish.
It's fair enough.
No, I don't know. It just, I think the drop in water did something to them, but
right.
I don't know. I was just surprised they like vanished, like gonzo.
Right. Well, anything else we want to note for Pickwick before we move on to the Sabine River?
Who won?
Right. For Fantasy Pick. We don't even know what Deacon had, so I don't know if we can get results here. Maybe I'll try call him here. Let me try to get him on the line actually, so we can get it to him. I know he had bad service, but let me throw him on speaker.
I think he has bad Wi-Fi.
Well, we'll figure out what he has here. But let me pull up mine. Let's see if this call goes through. It's a total spur of the moment. We were not planning on doing this.
I'm trying to find. I'm really bad at finding what my points were.
You have to go to the view tournament and click on Pickwick, and then.
Oh yeah. That was yep.
You've reached out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna fly. So we're gonna do amongst the three of us, and then we'll give the folks an updated, obviously points race when we do we'll do a Sabine River recap and Lake Fork preview on the 16th because there's that week gap in there. We'll give an updated points race for that one. But I guess I'll kick it off here. The guy that did best for me was Seth Fighter. Got in 25th place, and I have still yet to hit 1,000 points place. I was at 907. No bueno.
What did you have, Andy?
973. My best finisher was Kyle Welcher at 13th, and I'm glad I chose Zaldane over Atkins because he got a top 50 there, so that helped quite a bit. But never picking Matt Airy again. I've picked him twice this year, I think, and he's burned me both times.
Poor guy.
And then Scott Canterbury had a good rally there on the second day to almost make the cut. So I almost had 1,000-point tournament.
Nice. I had 1,083.
I can see the look on his face. He was all.
No, so my obvious best pick was Pipkins.
Yeah.
And I said in the last time, I was like, I don't know, I'm going to take Pipkins. This seems like a random event. He's going to catch him. And then, like the first day he caught him, I was like, that was cool. Then the second day he did it again. I was like, no way. No reason for it or anything.
And the third day, you're like, yes.
It was so random. But yeah, no. Pipkins, obviously, he ended up 9th. And then my next best was actually Wes Logan. He ended up 16th. And then I had Scott Martin, who took 21st. And then Seth Fighter, who took 25th. So I had 4 guys in the top 25, and Justin Atkins crushed me. So I wish I would have gotten someone else. Like, dude, if that water didn't go up, Atkins was going to win that tournament.
Yeah,
like, that's basically what was going on. So that's what stinks. But
an updated.
I can't complain. I'm in like the 90. I think I'm in the 98.5 percentile right now. I'm ranked in the top 700. So
pretty good.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. This next event is going to crush me. Like, my luck and any knowledge I have is gone. I might score 400 points here, and I don't even think that's possible.
You said that at Pickwick.
Yeah, well, I had somewhat of an idea of a couple. Like, I felt good about Scott, and he actually, I think, did the worst out of them. But
well, he was in that top 5 after day 1, right? And then
and day 2.
Day 2, he whacked him, and then day 3.
Yes, Bass Live and him don't get along. Both times he's been on Bass Live, he weighs in like 2 fish and just doesn't catch them.
Well, I'm having my worst year ever to date so far, in 55th percentile. So
nice.
Not very good. But
I was doing bad at 71.3.
Nope. It could be worse, but don't worry. But yeah, so updated points race with Deacon excluded at the moment. Bart is in the lead with 3 because obviously we're doing golf scoring. Andrew has 8, and I have 9. And obviously, like we said, Deacon is unknown at this point. So we'll see. Either
Just
Deacon will be at
mopping the
9
floor
or I'll be
right now. We did the scoring to try to keep it close.
Let the shit talking ensue.
I mean, you legitimately, one of you guys can win the next event, and I can take dead last, and I'm still winning.
Yeah, but that's funny.
Oh, Deacon says he's gonna go look. He'll get us the results. So we'll carry on with Sabine.
Deacon could have beat me. He had a good team. I do remember that. Pipkins might have been my guy though. That was big.
I'm gonna have to adjust either way my score to 10, not 9, because I'm pretty sure Deacon beat me. It's pretty easy to beat me on this tournament. I did pretty bad, so we'll figure it out. But
it was funny. After day one, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm ruined." I think I had almost every one of my guys was like 60th or worse after day one.
After day one, I was like, "All right, finally, like my picks are doing good," because all my guys were in the top 40. Like Paquette was up there. Todd Alton was up there. Schlapper was in the top 10. Clint Davis was like 11th. Fighter, I think, was in like 15th or 16th or something.
Guys, day one, I was humming because Atkins was in 39th too. Like I was doing real good day one. I was like, I might win this event. Like legitimately win this event.
Yeah.
And then he weighed in one fish day two. I was like, what?
Right. You could see it in his face when he was on live. Like he was pissed, like offended, pretty much.
Yeah,
it's that home lake curse. It seems coming back again.
But so obviously moving forward, we're gonna get Deacon's gonna let us know his picks. Well, obviously his points from this past tournament and his picks for Sabine. But getting into the Sabine River. Andy, if you want to kick us off, do you have any general, takes, predictions, or anything when it comes to the Sabine River event?
It depends on what the water temp is. I think you're going to see traditional Sabine fishing, frog, buzzbait, and flipping. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually excited to that because there's going to be there's going to be long pauses in between bites, but it's going to be topwater fishing, so that's fun. But you could see, what was it, the first time they went there? I think a spinnerbait played pretty well, and you could see a random spinnerbait bite pop up somewhere if someone makes a long run. So I'll be intrigued to see who makes that long run down to Galveston. Multiple people go, and what happens in Sabine. Bart, is Louisiana still closed? So they can't go over to Louisiana, right?
I legitimately have no idea.
Yeah, no clue.
Because I know they have like all kinds of weird waterway.
Yeah, I know it's been a big deal for a while, and I think talking to the guys, it sounded like it still is. But I could be wrong.
Is that what Keith Poche did? Because I know he was second.
Yeah, maybe
that one Hackney won. He made a run in like some crazy backwaters. Got on a spinnerbait bite.
Yeah, I mean that's the way that place is. I mean, he just. Like I'm looking at it and like I'm gonna miss filming this event and I'm gonna miss watching it, and I'm not upset about it. Is basically how I feel. I do like grinder events. I love them, but like just something about the Sabine I'm not a huge fan of. I know a lot of people like it, but just for me, it's whatever. It's gonna be a flipping bite. It's gonna be a frog bite. Like the biggest thing is. Huh?
How many Lake Conroe lunkers got sucked down into there during that hurricane 2 years ago?
I don't know. It'd be pretty cool if a lot of them did. What if they went down there and all of a sudden like 90 pounds wins? I'd be like, what?
Yeah, I thought that was the last time they were there was like a big flood and a couple like 6-7 pounders got weighed in just like randomly. Guys would have one fish but have like a 7-pounder. What if there's more from that last hurricane that hit there? All of a sudden, somebody drops like a 25-pound bag.
Well, there's normally like a 18 or 20-pound bag one day.
Yes, I don't even think,
and that literally carries you to the final day.
When 2 years ago when Hackney won, I think he had like 15, 16 every day. He won with 49 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's like
49. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, my weight guess needs to change.
Yeah, I had 63 and I backed off.
He had 16 pounds, 12 pounds, 11, and like 7 or something like that.
All right. Okay. But yeah, no, you just look at it and honestly, like this event's cool for the schedule and everything because it's literally a survival event.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like,
And
I don't think there's any guy there going like, I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to win it.
God damn it.
Yeah, I won again. I just found out Deacon's points. I won again.
Yes.
So, update for you folks. Deacon has answered us in our little group chat here. He had 944 points, so that puts me in dead last with 10. And Deacon is in third here with, because Andrew, you had 970 something?
Yeah, 978, I believe.
So, update. Bart is in the lead with 3. Andrew is in second with 8, Deacon 9, and myself dead freaking last with 10 points. Double digits, boys, double digits.
Bailey, you better hope you win.
Dude, I'm just going straight Cinderella picks for the rest of the season, just to try to make my way back.
So what do you think's gonna happen, Bailey?
I mean, honestly, I don't think much. You kind of hit the nail on the head. I think it's going to be, what we've seen before on the Sabine. But I think it'll be interesting to see what that winter storm does if they are a little bit behind. I don't know. I didn't do my research in terms of when they've been there in the past in terms of dates, like when they were there. But it could be maybe more fish are on bed at this point because the water temps were obviously colder at a later time in the year because of that winter storm. I don't know how much that affected the Sabine River, so I have no idea. But I think this is going to be an event obviously won by guys who fish, river systems that are good with it. And obviously that's going to show in my picks here, but also guys that are able to adjust, which I think can show obviously, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of, knowledge on the Sabine River besides like what Bart said. It's going to be a grind and it's just going to be guys going all over the freaking place, but it's going to be a power fishing event nonetheless, so it's going to be a lot of fun, but we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see what they're going to say on live, if they're even going to talk about what that winter storm did with Texas, Louisiana, and what maybe if that affects Sabine at all, putting it at a later phase for these fish that might be a little bit more easier to catch. Maybe if they're more fish, or maybe they're going to weigh a little bit more. Who knows? I'm interested to see what it's going to be like nonetheless. Bart, what about you?
No, like I said, just be a grinder. I don't think in my picks, like you said, people who can adjust, like I'm not looking for anybody who can adjust. I'm picking guys who are like, I'm doing this and I'm not going to stop doing it, because I feel like at the Sabine, it's really like put 2 rods on your front deck. You're going to fish around a lot of people more than likely. And you have to catch fish instead of someone else in that area. Like the Sabine fish is really small. Like where Hackney won before, there was like 20 to 50 other boats there the first 2 days. Like he's not alone.
He made that
there
adjustment.
are a few instances where guys will go find something off the beaten path, and that's where I pick guys like who are notoriously good in the river, like down kind of in that type of fishery. But I mainly pick guys who it's like, they're doing this, they're not going to stop it. So, AKA, I'm either going to do really good or I'm going to score 400 points.
I think it was
400, but it'll probably be 11.
Yeah.
11, so.
Well, it wouldn't be a worry for us because it's only a 1 point difference because we're doing golf scoring, so it does not matter. But I think it was Hackney that made a complete switch to an area. I think it was day 3 of Sabine when Hackney won, where he just like completely scrapped this area that he caught 12 pounds on and 16 pounds on day 1, scrapped it and went 5 minutes from the ramp and caught another 11 pounds I think on day 3, which gave him that nice cushion going into day 4. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of decisions guys make. But nonetheless, I think it'll be a power fishing event. I mean, you might see some finesse in there, but I don't think finesse is going to get the win.
Nope.
Yeah. But
Could finesse your way to a top 10, though. I did it in a little, like, sugar canal.
Yeah, like him, Bradley Roy, and, like, John Cruz or something like that sharing the same, 100-yard stretch?
Of clear, cool water, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's throwing, like, a Nika rig or something. But
drains are going to play big if they get away from like the wooded areas by the launch.
It'll be interesting. It'll be a very interesting event. But I think we should kick off our picks here. Bart, would you like to start us off with
Sure.
Group
A? My first pick isn't exciting at all. I picked Greg Hackney because he always does good there.
What is it? What is he at?
He's at like 50%. And I looked through and I was like, I don't have faith in anyone else. Hackney. And he's one of the – here's the thing to remember that's really important about the Sabine. They have not been there since before like the max exodus.
Mm-hmm.
So Hackney is one of very few people who even have experience there. So like for me, it's like you have to take him.
Yeah.
And he's fishing good.
Right. Andrew?
Surprised I went Hackney as well, but I did struggle on it. I almost went with Palaniuk because he's like on fire right now, and last time they fished there, he had a top 10. So I was like, but I don't know if that truly he's truly become a very good junk fisherman, like fly by the seat of his pants. And
He's got 5 tournaments doing 5 different things, like 5 tournament wins doing 5 different things.
Yeah, which is incredible. So I mean, that's a tough one, but I'm going Hackney just because I think he had like a 5th and a 1st. So he's probably going to be in that top 3 at the end of the day, or top 5.
And he's in the hunt for fantasy, so he's got to take the obvious picks. Yeah. So I did not pick Hackney to spice things up for this show for those folks that are listening for Group A. I went a different route, and I'm trying to be creative with it. He's at 1.8%. And pretty much every top 10 he has on the FLW side. You can't say the same thing for Bassmaster, but at least on the FLW side, every time he's cashed in top 10, it's, I believe almost every single event besides like Florida has been river systems, and that's Brian Schmidt. Wins on Potomac, Chesapeake. I'm trying to remember where else. I think it was Delaware. I'm trying to remember where else he's done well on. But I think the Sabine will set up similar. But obviously he actually has some tournaments where he's done well in the Arkansas River, and I feel like that sets up pretty similar to the Sabine River. And a guy that knows tidal waters, I'm going Brian Schmidt.
I like that. Yeah, he's really good on river systems. So that's a good pick.
Yeah.
It's hard not to pick him, especially when he's at 1.8%. That could either be
He's done pretty well this year too, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he just had top.
He had a last event was good.
Already has a win under his belt on Tackle Warehouse at Okeechobee.
He's got 2 top 10s.
He's got 2 top 10s. Yeah. What was it? Which one was it? It wasn't Tennessee River. It was gosh, where were they first? Was it first tournament that he was top 10?
I think he was top 10 St. John's.
Was it
Yeah,
St.
he
John's?
was.
Right.
Yeah, he was there on the
Another river system. There you go, title fishery. But let's see. Group B. Andrew, what do you got?
I went Stetson Blaylock
Interesting pick.
because he won on Winyah Bay, which is also a tidal river system. I feel like he's having slightly a down year, so he's going to be looking to get back on track. And he tends to do really well in these really tough grinder type tournaments. So that's why I went with Stetson. And I also didn't really like anybody else in there besides. And they're kind of high picks. I guess I could have went Mark Menendez, but I think if Louisiana was open, he would have been a better choice, like in the cattails and such.
Well, now that you've mentioned it, I'm going to jump in front of Bart here. I went with Mark Menendez because, like I mentioned, as somebody that can adjust, I think Mark Menendez is probably the best option in Group B, at least for me, especially when trying to build points. Let me see what percentage he's actually at here. Yeah, he's at 1.7. Somebody with a lot of experience like Menendez, that's where I got confidence that he could do well. We got an updated list here to catch up with Deacon. Deacon went with Brock Mosley for Group A. And then to jump in front of Bart as well, he went Derek Hudnall.
That's a good pick.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, what do you got, Bart, for Group B?
So from here on out, I'm not confident about anyone. So Hackney's going to win. That's it. But no, I picked I went with a low percentage pick this round. I actually went with Caleb Sumrall. 2.2% from Louisiana. He has a lot of experience if you look back on the Red River with Bassmaster. I know it's not the same, but he's kind of Louisiana river junk fishing, whatever kind of guy, and runs a tin boat and just, he's been fishing well this year too. So he's kind of doing all right. Like, be fine. Yeah. So that's why I picked him.
Yeah. Wasn't he top 25 at Pickwick?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Right. He was fishing really good.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Derek Hudnall was a good pick by Deacon. That is an interesting one. Let's see. So Group C. Andrew, would you like to kick us off?
I'm on Canterbury. Same thing. He's very good on tidal river fisheries usually. I felt like it was a safe pick. At 12%, it's not too high. I feel like I'm breaking all my rules in this, but I'm trying to catch up as well because I hate picking people over 10%, but I don't like to lose either. So I was like, I'm going to go Canterbury. Another pick I possibly thought about going there was actually Tyler Rivette, just because he had a really good tournament. Confidence is really high. And he's from, I believe he's down from like the Bayou, Mississippi area in Louisiana. So he understands bottom end river fisheries too. But yep, Canterbury it is. Especially if a buzz.
He's a flippin' braid dude for at least talking about Rivette. That would have been a good pick as well. But yeah, Canterbury, I mean, AOY, you can't really count him out. Somebody that adjusts pretty well.
And he's not having a very good season either, so he's due to get it back on track too.
Mm-hmm. Bart, what do you think?
I went with let me look here. I went with someone who's at 8.5%, has won with Bassmaster, and just seems to always do well. Frank Talley.
God damn.
That's a good choice.
Yep. So I went with Frank Talley from Texas. I don't think he's a local or anything, but maybe fished around there. I don't know if he has any experience around there. I just know Frank Talley's good. And, like, if I'm going to pick someone in a bucket, I don't have faith in anyone. It's going to be him. So
that was my pick as well. I went Frank Talley. He's got a 12th place finish at the Arkansas River. And obviously he's shown that he likes to be up shallow, and he likes to.
I mean, when he won Gunnersville, he was way up the river. Like, he wasn't fishing Gunnersville.
Right. So yeah, I went. I mean, there's not much extra explanation I can give to that one as well. I mean, I went Frank Talley. But I'll phase us into Group D.
Well, who did Deacon take?
I was just gonna say, yeah, for Group C, Deacon also went with Canterbury. So we have two similar picks for Group C. But to kick us off for Group D, I went with Luke Palmer.
Because I almost picked him.
He has an 18th place finish on the Arkansas River, top 10 at the Red River, another top 20 at the Red River. I feel like he's very comfortable around that scenario. Luke Palmer is known to be consistent. Being an Oklahoma boy, he's not that far away. I think he'll do well. I hope he'll do well. I've said I think that these guys will do well, and obviously I'm last in fantasy, so I probably should stop saying that. But I'm gonna go with Luke Palmer, and I think it'll set up well for the way he likes to fish. What about you, Andrew?
So I did some research while I was at work today because I was not confident in anybody in Group D and E, and it came down between Micah Frazier and Jake Whitaker. And going back on past results, Jake Whitaker actually has a top 10 on the Sabine system. So if you can find like a ditch somewhere that has a clear water drain and maybe a little cooler water, because I'm sure it's like 90 degrees in Houston, Galveston area at the moment, I think he'll be somebody that does really well on a finesse bite and possibly gets like a top 25 finish to really help boost my fantasy standings.
Nice. I like that. Bart?
I picked Whitaker too.
Oh, man.
I knew he had
this episode.
I knew he had experience there, and This is just there's certain events that you're like, oh, this is a Jake Whitaker event. This is a Jake Whitaker event. Like he'll do well. He'll just chuck his wacky Senko around everywhere, and all of a sudden he'll come in with 5 fish, and he'll be in like 5th place day four, and you're like, what? That's exactly how it'll happen.
And he'll get up on stage.
I just threw a wacky Senko around, and I got 5 bites today, and that was it.
Yeah.
He's one of the funniest guys to watch on stage because he's exactly like that. He's like, I don't know. Pick up a Senko and threw it around. Caught 5 fish.
Yeah. Like I said, this is Jake Whitaker event, so I'm riding with him. And he has experience, so that's big.
Right. Well, we wish Deacon was here to be giving explanations for these picks, but he went with Clark Wendlandt, who is at 25% right now. Whitaker is at 11%, and my pick is at 4%. So I'm going really low picks. But Deacon went with Clark Wendlandt, former AOI. I don't know his experience on there, but given that he's been in professional fishing for a while, I'm going to have to imagine he's been there at least once or twice, especially being a Texas guy. What do you think?
You would think. I just don't think it's really that big of a tournament venue either. Like the Opens have been there, I think, once. And then the Elites, this is what, their 3rd time going?
I don't know. They've been there quite a bit. They always go because it's got huge crowds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what was between them and Waddington for the biggest crowds on.
Yeah, but every time they go back down there, it gets beat. Like there's so many fans. It's incredible.
Right. Texas just wants to beat New York for that crowd record. They don't even care about fishing. They just want to beat the record.
Probably.
Let's see. Group E. This was a tough one. I was between a couple guys, but I took the route of somebody who's done well again on like the Red River, who's done well on the St. John's, on river systems. I went with Quentin Capo. That's who I chose for that, just because Louisiana has done well in the past on river systems. That was pretty much my only basis for picking him. How about you, Bart?
I think he's one of the highest picks in there, but I went with Daryl Gleason. He's just not really having a great year so far, but like he's really good and he's been around forever. I'm assuming, and I think he has a lot of experience on the Red River, but I have nothing to back that up. I didn't even look at.
He's from Manny, Louisiana, which means he fishes Toledo Bend, which I actually think might flow into this.
Yeah,
the arms.
So I just picked Gleason because really there was no, honest to God, I looked at Group E and I was like, you guys are having a bad year. Not a lot of you have experience here. This is probably going to be a bad event. But I looked at Gleason and I was like, this guy could catch him. And he's such a positive dude, man. Like I've talked to him and stuff or just seen him around and stuff at the launches and everything when I've been there. Like he's just a cool dude. Just always happy. So I think like mentally he'll be ready to actually go to this Sabine and kind of get it rolling. So that's why I picked Gleason. One pick I would say, if you kind of want to keep your eye out for, a guy who's had a terrible season, who has had like actually a pretty bad few years, might not. Hopefully he catches them so he can stay on the elites, but he's on the track of not. Who I think would be a really good low value pick that I debated taking is Brett Pruitt.
I was looking at him as well.
I think
there's a couple good picks in that. Like Randy Sullivan is another one too.
I just think Pruitt, man, like I think he's been there before too, and I think he's done all right. But I think he's one you could look at if you want lower percentage. I could see him definitely making a top 50 and actually making the final day.
Yeah. Well, Daryl Gleason, I'm looking at his profile here, has a 14th on the Red River, has a top 30 on the Red River, first on Toledo Bend, which connects into Sabine. So he has experience on it. Done well at St. John's, Neely Henry. Not that Neely Henry's anything relatively similar, but it could be a good pick. It could pan out for you. Deacon picked Harvey Horn, which was one I was contemplating on picking as well, being a shallow water power fisherman. But Hasn't seemed to adjust well just yet to the Elite Series. So that's kind of why I strayed from him and went with Quentin Capo. Just kind of on a hunch. Set was good at river systems. And talking about people, kind of like our gut picks of people who could do well and who could do well that we didn't pick, but kind of had that funny feeling. We've been trending on this the last few preview shows ever since Adam mentioned how he thinks Brian New will do well. But my gut pick for this event that I'm not choosing for fantasy is Matt Herron.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I think he had a top 10 there last time at the Sabine. If I'm looking back,
you might pick him now.
I'm not going to. My Group E pick is a swing in the fence. Like, he fished there before the last time the Elites were there, before the Max Exodus. Tyler Carrier. I believe he actually had a camera on him day one the last time they were there, and he actually was like, I think he was in 15th. He ended up finishing like 30th or 35th. I was like, out of everybody in that group, besides maybe Justin Atkins, who is due for a big tournament, I was like, he's got experience there. He's pretty close, just over the border in Louisiana. So that was my choice.
I like that. My guy I'm not picking that I could see winning, actually one of you guys picked in fantasy. I could really see Mark Menendez winning this tournament.
He's long overdue.
So much experience. And he's fishing well this year. Like, it's kind of an event that like the Sabine always seems like an event like an old guy wins. Like, really kind of the way it is, like a veteran wins it, because it's just a tough event. So Mark Menendez, I would not be surprised if he wins this one.
It'd be cool too after the year he had last year. But Andrew, Matt Herron has 2 top 20s at the Sabine River. I might ponder changing my pick here.
So hard to get away from Hackney. So
no, he's a really good pick, man. He always does well there.
I'm gonna stick with Schmidt. I'm gonna stick with the hunch because every time I always change my mind on something, I'm 100% wrong. So we're gonna stick with Schmidt.
Can't wait till Herron wins this thing.
Yeah, how it's gonna shake up.
Here's my gut feeling. Fresh off of his first Elite Series victory, my pick to win is Bill Lowen. He's going to double down and go 2 in a row because I think he actually had a top 10 there last time as well.
Yeah, he's good there. And that's like his type of fishing.
Tough river fishery. He's from the Ohio River, so he knows how to fish really tough, grindy, grimy events. And it was hard not to pick him in Group B because he's on that high. I'm sure he's taking 9,000 phone calls for the next 4 months. So he could be slightly mentally out of it, but I would not be surprised if he all of a sudden goes on like a wind tear just because now he's got the monkey off of his back and confidence is at an all-time high.
Saved up for 14 years to win a couple back-to-back.
Yeah.
I like it. That's good.
It could happen. It's that type of event that it could happen.
Yeah. We'll have to get a gut feeling pick here from Deacon, but real quick before we sign off here tonight, because I don't think we have much left to obviously tell the folks, but your tiebreakers, so win the weights, what do you guys think it's going to be at? I went with 51.3. So about 12 pounds-ish a day with a bigger bag, like a 14 or 15 mixed in.
I had 53.11, so about the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Andrew?
In between the last 2 times they were there, the first time it was 50 pounds when Chris Lane won, and then the next time it was 49.1, I think, so I went 49.7.
We'll see. It's
I'm
going to be
hoping for a slugfest on the Sabine. I went with 53.11.
Blow the doors off of them.
Yeah.
That'd be more than 10 pounds a day. I don't think that's ever been done there, honestly. I don't think anybody's caught 10 pounds.
12 pounds.
Oh, yeah. Because somebody always...
No, that'd be 13-ish.
I know guys have gone 11 almost every day.
Yeah.
I think it was Bradley Roy that went. He went like 11, a 10, 11, 11 or something like that when Hackney won.
Don't
quote me, but
it's so hard to be consistent there. like Hackney one was 16, 12, 11, and 7. So it's like, ooh. But if some of those big ones float in from Toledo Bend, it could be an entirely new river.
Yeah, but that probably didn't happen.
The ice probably brought it down even lower, honestly.
No. Yeah, the only thing I have left that I wanted to say was my AOI pick sitting right there, right where he needs to be. Second place is Seth the Fighter. Had a great event at Pickwick. And this is the one I pointed to after the St. John's, and I was like, well, if he can get through the next few events, this could be, I think we're going to start seeing the run. Well, this is it. Like this is where we meet it right here. Because he has experience here. He's been here 2 or 3 times now. He really does not like this place at all. And
the one thing I'm riding on this season is my guy for AOI that we picked on the first preview show before the St. John's even kicked off. My guy's in first. Just want to say that.
Yeah, no, he is. But the one thing the Fighter has going for him is
Northern.
They go back to Alabama and then go north. They're going to 3 fisheries that guy does really good on.
Yeah,
and that's Gunnersville, Champlain, and the St. Lawrence. He always does well there too, but
I think it'll come down to Fighter for his first ever AOI versus Palaniuk for his second.
And Hackney for his third, because Hackney's going to be there at the end.
I don't know,
man.
There's some
and he'll do well here, but like it'll be interesting because him on Fork will be interesting too. And he's won on Cayuga. He won on Cayuga, right? He's won up north, but I don't think he normally does that well up there.
Let me pull it up. You guys check. I'm going to pull up for Hackney how he usually does in St. Lawrence River, but go ahead.
The last time he fished the Elites, he had a top 10 catching largemouth.
Oh, that's right.
He had almost 90 pounds on largemouth. The one day he weighed like 6.5 and a 6. No, on the St. Lawrence. Flipping grass.
See, St. Lawrence 2018, he has an 80th.
Oh, the time before that.
Let's see, St. Lawrence River 28th.
I thought he had a top 10.
4 pounds. Then he has, let's see, it's going to show up again here. He got 107 at Cayuga. I think that's when he DQ'd day 2.
It was. He DQ'd day 1.
Day 1. St. Lawrence River 2015, he had 3rd with 72 pounds.
Those were all largemouth. That'll never happen again, but. And then Brock Mosley almost did it last year.
65th St. Lawrence River. Yeah, who knows, dude? I mean, really, who knows?
Are they at the St. Lawrence this year? Is it June?
They're
July.
Let's see.
Middle of July. It's the middle of July. I know that for a fact.
That could be tough.
That's going to be a smash fest, dude. You're going to probably see 100 pounds.
It depends.
Dude, they've said that for the last 6 years.
But they still have ice up. Last year they didn't. There's still tons of ice on the St. Lawrence. It's going to be delayed.
Let's see.
Last year they were in prime summer pattern in July when they were there. The water is going to be way colder this year.
July 15th, so mid-July.
They're going to
They'll probably be late spawners out deep on Ontario. There's the potential. Who knows how warm the spring's going to be?
Ontario won't be open this year.
Oh, because they're going out of
Waddington?
Oh, then I take back my 100 pounds comment. 90, yeah. 100, no.
If Canada's open, 90 pounds, yes. If Canada is not open, which it's not looking like it will be, it'll probably be in the 80s. Because they just extended the border closure again, I believe.
It's going to be packed if the Canada's not open.
Well, they'll probably have to move it back down to Clayton again, honestly, because Canada is literally right outside the launch at Waddington, and you can't even run in Canadian water. They'll pull you over. Technically.
That would not be good having some Louisiana boys getting pulled over by some Mounties. Probably won't go over well. They probably first won't understand each other, and then 2, it probably just won't go over well.
Yeah. That one will be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun season regardless if all stays. No more, knock on wood, nothing else gets canceled or moved around. But
yeah, let's hope my open doesn't get changed, man. My schedule's too busy for that date to get changed. So
I get
I
that.
don't care if it's chocolate milk and crappy and high, and I got to back my boat in a foot of flooded water. I want to fish it.
Heck yeah. But you guys have anything else left for the folks? Obviously, Bart, good luck next week. Hopefully they have the event, and hopefully you do well, dude. But
yeah, and we'll do our recap the week after, right?
Yeah.
April 16th. That is when we I believe it's the 16th. Let me make sure that's the Friday when it'll be posted here. Yes,
We'll do
April
the recap
16th.
and then preview the 130-pound Smash Fest fork is going to be.
Yeah,
Probably.
exactly.
That's gonna be dumb.
It's going to be insane.
But
Someone might break a weight record there.
Very well possible.
just a little side note for everyone listening in Alabama and the Southeast. Stay safe.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're all right. Because they got crushed, like the Birmingham area got devastated. And they still have tornadoes on the ground right now and a lot of big ones like EF3 and bigger. So hope everyone stays safe.
Retweet that, dude. Hopefully everyone's all right. But anything else for the folks, guys, before we sign off here?
Negative.
I'm
All
good
right.
to go.
Well, as always, folks, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully we kind of helped with your fantasy picks and getting you a little feel for what's to come for the event. And hopefully we don't sound like a bunch of idiots more than we already are. And we'll see you on April 16th.